Hey everyone, this is the Bearded Zeno, and I'm gonna have to hold this box off screen because it's too big to fit and it's kind of heavy. Anyways, this is gonna be my review of the Hot Toys Iron Man 3 Tony Stark the Mechanic figure, MMS 209. And wow, this figure's pretty impressive, but there's also a few nitpicks, bad things. I'll get to those in a second. But actual texture of this right here, it's yeah, you can see all those little circuitry right there. Those are raised with like a gloss type material. Very, very nice. Flip it over on the back. Just looks like blue jeans. Kind of cool. There's all the jargon that you want to read that. One of these days I will go to Secret Base because it's a cool place I want to see. And let me just take the slip off screen. Alright. And this is the insert. It says, you could take away my suit, you could take away my home, but there's one thing you can never take away from me. I am Iron Man. So that's a really nice quote from the film. And of course the picture you can see, it's just all the stuff on the table when he's making all the little gadgets before he goes and storms the Mandarin's mansion, which is a really neat sequence of the film, which is what this figure is based off of. I'm going to go ahead and take the insert out, and there's just a hollow piece. That's actually spare stickers for the watch. Well, that's actually spare stickers for the watch, which we'll see here in a second. That's trays for all the accessories, the guns went over here, and of course, you know, all the extra hands and stuff. You'll see all these accessories here in a little bit. Now let's take a look at the actual accessories. Alright, first up we actually have his little Mac 10 here, which is a really neat accessory. Unfortunately, it doesn't pull back like the Tommy gun did on the Captain America that I have, but the clip does come out, you know, which is pretty much standard, and that is awesome. Really awesome detail. Look at us. See to put that off camera. Next accessory, just because it's the closest, is aviator glasses, which it recommends you to not leave them on there for prolonged periods of time because it may cause paint wear. Not exactly sure what they mean by that, but I kind of prefer the look of the glasses, so I'm probably going to keep them on there for, you know, the duration of this figure's life. I might take them off periodically just so it can breathe, but most of the time this is going to be on my figure. Move it to the side. Next accessory is his little electrical glove, which is really cool, really great piece in the film. And it's not actually metal, but when you touch your finger to the actual coals in here, the paint that they use, it's cold to the touch. So it gives it the feel of metal, which is really, really nice. And I do love all these little circuitry in here. Let's go ahead and get a good look at this. Look at that. That is so cool. That is insanely detailed, very beautiful, and I love it. Next accessory is going to be his, I was going to say this is like his nail gun, because that's what it looks like. And very nicely detailed, pretty much exactly from the film. And I really do dig it. And one thing, this is not a soft rubber hose, I thought it would be. It's just a hard plastic or something, I don't know, it's very, very stiff on mine. I thought it was, you know, like a piece of rubber, so that's really weird. Really weird. Mine's really stiff. Next accessory is, we're going to go with two here. I actually hadn't taken the plastic off of these until I started doing this review. That's his little display and his targeting sensor. I guess that's what these are called. I'm not quite sure. This is what he is basically his heads-up display. And you just pop this inside here. Presto changeo, you know, and it's how he controls it. We'll get a look at that here in a little bit. Next one is, let's go with this. A shoe. This actually comes on the figure, but this is representing the actual Iron Man leg that comes on the figure that you'll see. I'm not taking that off now that I got it applied because it is a bitch to apply. So you're going to get a shoe. Congratulations. Now, moving on, we have a buku of human hands. The left trigger finger is actually on the figure right now, but you have a grip hand, a right trigger finger, and left relaxed. This is the one that came with the figure, and there was also a right relaxed, which is still on the arm because he comes with an Iron Man arm. Now, I have a big gripe. This is not a gripe, this is a really bad point about this figure, which we'll touch on once we get to the articulation, but these arms are not pretty. Not at all. Next up, because I just talked about the Iron Man arm, it's an articulated hand that goes for it and a gauntlet that goes for it. So that's really, really nice. And just so you know, this is articulated. Ta-da! I call this, hey, Mandarin plot twist. Anyways, moving on, is his backpack. And I have all the micro accessories that go on the backpack already on there. But it's a very, very nice backpack. A little walkie-talkie here, a pair of pliers, which I'm just going to pull out real quick because they actually do work. I mean, you can't, pinch them or anything, but the fact that they unfold like that, and, they're 1/6 scale, that is insanely awesome. Next up is this little piece right here, which is a little lawn dart that he used to trip somebody. Really cool. There's a newspaper in here that I'm not going to take out because I wasn't even able to get it fully all the way in, but I am going to take this bottle out because this thing is so cool. And you can see it's just a water bottle filled with liquid. And what's even better is you can twist it and out pops a syringe. That is some of the best detail in any action figure I've ever seen, ever. It's an accessory, but still, that is so cool. And I'll apply that back off screen. All these zippers on this do work. Almost forgot the Christmas ornament bomb. Yeah, I just have that attached in there. Oop, I hit the camera. But all these zippers do work. Let's get some better focusing on here. It's a really nice stitching on here. It's filled with foam pads. You can take them out, but I'm not going to because it fills it up. And I just wanted to say that mine has this extra little doodad that wasn't in any other reviews that I saw. So I think this is a QC issue with mine. If anybody else has this figure and you see this little doodad hanging out on the top, please let me know. So I don't think that there's something wrong with my figure, but yeah, I don't think that's supposed to be there. I think that's a QC issue. Anyways, moving on. We're not done with the accessories yet. There is another accessory which I didn't want to take off. You heard me talking about the watch? Well, here's the watch. It's actually on the figure right now. And yeah, if you've seen the movie, that's not a Dora Explorer watch, but hey, they can get the right stuff. There we go. And just because I talked about it earlier, there's the Iron Man leg already on the figure. Really, really nice. We'll take a better look at that when we get the articulation. And here is the Iron Man arm. Very, very nice. We'll talk about that when we get to articulation. And now let's move on to the actual figure. Alright, finally, we're to the meat and potatoes. The figure itself. And I've got to say, that is definitely Robert Downey Jr. Although, it is a bit fat-faced, and the eyes are slightly off. But that gets fixed with the actual glasses. Don't believe me? Boom, Robert Downey Jr. right there. I have no problem with this, with the actual glasses on. But without them, like I said, it's lacking a little bit. I think it's just because it's a bit fat-faced and it's in the eyes. But pretty much the rest of the figure is Robert Downey Jr. But I will say the hair, I don't remember it being that poofy. Oh well, not that big of an issue. Now let's go ahead and move on to some awesome details about the figure. Alright, some of the awesome details are, well, just, the overall aesthetic idea of the figure itself. That's neat. I love that you can have pretty much anything you want to. I'll throw a couple of accessories on here at the end of the video, but the main meat and potatoes of this is, whoops. I was going to cover that in articulation, but, oh well. Is the actual light-up features. So there we go. We actually have a lot of repulsors. Actually, that's not... There we go. There we go. So when you have it fully angled up, it doesn't line up correctly with the LED. But there we go. That's Iron Man. And last but not least, we actually have the arc reactor. And if it'll show up, refocus it will. There we go. You can actually see the triangle arc reactor in there. It's fully detailed. If you were to pull these clothes off, you would be able to see it, but yeah, I don't want to fool with that. But yeah, that is really nice. And the switch is just on his back. So, on, or off, on, off, on. That's really, really cool. And of course, if you cut both lights on, it looks even better. I mean, that is so cool. You can't really see this on camera, but it looks really good in person. I'll say that right now. Go ahead and cut these off. And now we're going to move to articulation in the same video segment. Now, we're going to save the arms for last because that's the worst part, but the head, just on a normal ball joint, really nice. Pivots at the top of the neck instead of the bottom of the neck. There's a ball joint inside here, so it helps really, really nicely. The arms, well, we're going to talk about the elbows last. The arms, that's about as far up as they will go. And that's about as far out as they will go. So that's a bit of a bummer. And I think it's squeezed up the body there. That's kind of funky. Anyways, not too much at the waist because all the wiring are inside of here. As far as the legs will go. They won't go back any further than that. But he does have a double bend in the knee, but it's restricted when you have this leg on because, well, you know, there's a big fucking metal piece back there. But if you bend this one back, they will go really damn far. And of course, not too much articulation here. Not that much articulation in this at all. That's just for show, basically. And, you know, the hands are just standard Hot Toys hands. We don't need to talk about those. Now the big bummer about this figure. The elbows. I'm just going to pull this one off real quick because this is just attached via a magnet. Really neat idea. I don't know why mine has that little dot there. That was there when I got it. And as you can see, it's a single joint elbow. But you see how easy this one's moving? Yeah. See how easy that's moving? Let me bring in the one that was on there stock. And both of my elbows are like this. Go ahead and focus in on this. As you can see, it's malformed. It's not smooth. There's all kinds of weird divots and everything in there. It's really, really strange. Now, I noticed in a couple of reviews that I saw about this, people always talked about having stiff elbows or frozen elbows on their figure. And they always thought it was just their own issue, but I think this was a QC issue that slipped by everyone because everybody just thought, oh, you know, I just don't want to mess with it if it's too tight, or, you know, I'm not going to mess with that arm anyways. But this is the stiffest joint I've ever. I really had to strain to get that there. Holy fuck. And it. Damn it. Ugh. Both of my elbows are like this. If you don't believe me, here's the one that's on the arm. Oh, shit. There we go. It's really, 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 really stiff. So I think that's a QC issue that slipped by because a lot of people were talking about stiff or locked joints and nobody ever really reported it. So, yeah, that's something you really need to be worried about when you're buying this figure, whether or not you're going to get bad joints in the elbows. And again, you know, it's bad that it's just a single joint anyways, but oh well. Moving on for some poses with accessories. Alright, here's a pose with the actual electrical glove and the nail gun. And, you know, they look okay. I just want to say that, you know, the lack of a double bend elbow really limits what you can do with these accessories, but it's not too bad. I do want to add this little bugger came with his own head peg, which is pretty damn cool. Alright, here's his heads-up display applied. I think that looks really, really cool. Again, there's two layers in there, the targeting reticle and the actual outer holographic display. I think that looks really, really nice, although I'm not personally going to display it like that. I'm going to display it like this is how I'm pretty much going to keep mine in this, exact same pose. Not with the lights on. I can turn them on every once in a while, but I think this is the best combination of all that you can get. I, even have the backpack on, which let me just go ahead and spin it around. I don't think I showed that, did I? This is what the backpack looks like when it's on. Really nice, but I really do like the way this looks when everything's on, when everything's together. I think it looks really nice. There we go. I think it looks really, really cool. And, yeah, I do recommend this figure, but it's not going to be a high recommend. Mainly because it's not that iconic of a Tony Stark. And there are those major issues with the elbows, which I don't want to recommend a product to you if it's going to have something that's going to be that strenuous to try and get to work with. But if you want to work with those elbows, maybe yours won't be like that. But that's something you gotta look out for with this figure. But I do say that I recommend it, but I'm not going to say this is the Hot Toys figure you gotta buy. But I think it's pretty daggum good, and it comes with a lot of accessories. Most of which I got on there now, but I think that's really, really nice, and I think it's gonna look good, on my shelf. So, like I said, recommend, but not a high recommend. Anyways, I've been the Bearded Xeno for Clicking Finks Entertainment. Hopefully you enjoy this video. Any questions, comments, or concerns about the figure, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next video.